You know, in the world of AI, it feels like a few giants, think OpenAI, have completely dominated the field, right? They've got these incredible but totally closed off and super expensive models. But what if an open source underdog could actually catch up? And what if it could do it with like shocking efficiency? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. We're talking about InternVL 3.5, a model that's shaking things up.
So here's the big question, the real head scratcher. How in the world do you make an AI 4 times faster and also smarter? I mean, usually you have to trade one for the other, right? Get a massive speed boost without sacrificing intelligence? That's the puzzle we're going to crack open today. Okay, so to really get why this is such a huge deal, we've got to talk about something called the AI gap. See, for years now, all the most powerful AI has been cooked up behind the locked doors of just a few giant corporations. And that's created this massive divide between them and, well, pretty much everyone else in the tech world. And this chart right here, it just lays the problem out perfectly. Look at that. On one side, you've got the towering performance of those closed commercial models. They're the giants, setting a bar that seems almost impossible to reach. And then, over on the other side, you've got the open source community, which, has always struggled to keep up. This gap isn't just a number, it's a huge wall, a massive barrier for researchers, startups, and brilliant developers all over the world. All right, quick timeout. Just to make sure we're all on the same page here. The technology we're talking about is called multimodal AI. So forget about AIs that can only do text. We're talking about an AI that can look at a picture, read text within that picture, and understand it all together. It's like it can look at a photo of your fridge, actually read the expiration date on the milk, and then suggest a recipe with what you've got. It sees, it reads, and it thinks, all at once.
And for the open source world, this has been a massive, massive bottleneck. I mean, if you wanted to build a competitive multimodal AI, you basically had to settle for something that was way less powerful, painfully slow, and just crazy expensive to run. It honestly felt like the race against the big guys was over before it even started. Super frustrating.
But that's where our story takes a really interesting turn. It's time to meet the new contender, the one that's stepping into the ring to challenge this whole setup. Let's talk about InternVL 3.5, a project that is literally aiming to change the entire game for open source AI.
So what is this new contender, really? Well, at its heart, InternVL 3.5 is a whole new family of open source models, and they're built to be super versatile and efficient. But here's the real kicker. This isn't just another model. No way. It is a direct shot at closing that massive performance gap we were just talking about. And the best part? The team behind it released everything, all the models, all the code for free to the public. That's a huge move. So you're probably wondering, okay, how did they pull this off? Well, turns out they've got a couple of secret weapons up their sleeve. Let's start with the first one. This one is all about making the model smarter, giving it some seriously advanced reasoning skills. It's a brand new training method called Cascade Reinforcement Learning. Easiest way to think about it is like training an elite athlete. Seriously, step 1 is the offline phase. This is like the athlete in the film room, just studying hours and hours of game tape. The AI is learning all the fundamentals from a huge library of top-notch examples. Then comes step 2, the online phase. And now, it's game time. The AI gets thrown into the action, practicing on brand new problems it's never seen before, constantly refining its skills and pushing its own limits. And the researchers themselves put it perfectly. They created a system that is stable, effective, and lets the AI get progressively better at reasoning. Now, this two-step process is absolutely crucial. Why? Because it lets the model learn and improve without going haywire and becoming unstable, which, trust me, is a super common problem that can totally derail an AI training project. Okay, so that's how they made it smarter. But remember the other half of the promise? What about making it faster? Well, that brings us to their second huge breakthrough, a total revolution in efficiency that makes all this newfound brainpower actually practical. InternVL 3.5 actually uses 2 really clever tricks to get that incredible speed. First up is something called the Visual Resolution Router, or VIRE for short. Now, instead of just blasting an entire image in high def all the time, which is slow, VIRE is like a pair of smart glasses. It intelligently figures out which tiny parts of the image are actually important and need that high-def look. Super smart. The second trick is called decoupled vision language deployment, or DVD. The best analogy is a pro kitchen. You wouldn't have one chef do everything, right? You have a prep chef and a grill master working at the same time. That's DVD. It splits up the seeing and reading tasks so they can run in parallel, which makes everything way more efficient. So you take those two tricks, you put them together, and what do you get? How about an incredible 4.05 times speedup? Let that sink in. This is not some minor tweak we're talking about. This is a genuine quantum leap in efficiency. It's what makes this incredibly powerful AI actually practical for people to use in the real world.
And here is the absolute kicker. It's not just faster, it's also smarter. Remember that fancy training method we talked about? Well, it resulted in a 16% jump in its overall reasoning performance. I mean, come on, this is basically the holy grail of AI development. They managed to make it massively faster and significantly smarter both at the same time.
All right, so we've heard all the amazing claims. We've seen the clever methods. But now, it's time for the moment of truth. How does InternVL 3.5 actually stack up when you put it head-to-head against the giants of the industry? Let's go to the scoreboard.
Okay, take a look at these numbers. This table shows the results from some of the absolute toughest AI tests out there. On MMU, which is a brutal test of expert-level reasoning, InternVL 3.5 is getting so close to the top commercial model. It's basically the same story on AME 24, which is all about math, and SGP Bench, which tests how well it can act like an agent. The takeaway here is crystal clear. That gap we talked about, it is undeniably closing, and it's closing fast.
Look, this is so much more than just a cool technical achievement. This has massive implications for the entire future of AI. So let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this really, truly matters for everyone. At the end of the day, what this all boils down to is one powerful idea: democratizing AI. By making a model this powerful and this efficient open to everybody, it completely starts to level the playing field. Think about it. Students, independent researchers, tiny startups, they all suddenly get their hands on technology that, until now, was locked away behind corporate walls. This could genuinely spark a massive wave of innovation from every single corner of the globe. It really, really feels like we're turning the page, starting a whole new chapter. For so long, the story of AI was just about bigger and bigger models coming from a handful of giant companies. But with breakthroughs like this one, you just have to ask the question, is the future of AI finally truly open for everyone? And if it is, what do you think we're going to build next?